Welcome everyone, this is AndresRestart, and today we're going to have a little bit of discussion about Byleth in Smash Bros., Pokémon Home, and a potential Nintendo Direct in February. Now, I did predict a Nintendo Direct in January. I think at this point it's safe to say I was wrong. We did, however, get the Smash presentation in the Pokémon Direct instead, and that has sort of taken up most of the news for the month of January. So we'll be getting to the Nintendo Direct speculation in a little bit, but first let's talk about Byleth. So, Byleth in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, I think, is actually pretty awesome. I've been playing as a character, and I'm really enjoying this character. I've been personally just playing as Edelgard, or the alt skin for Edelgard, and I love it. I honestly feel like I'm playing as Edelgard. I love how the colors sort of match up, and especially when I use the axe, I think I'm using Edelgard. And I've also felt like I've been versing both Claude and Dimitri when they use their particular weapons with their particular colors, and it looks great. It's really awesome. Now, disclaimer, if you're watching me play Smash Bros. In this video, because that's probably all the gameplay I'll have for this particular video, it's going to be more of a basic discussion video, I suck. So, if you're going to comment in the comments that I'm not good at Smash Bros., I know, okay? I know. It's just fun. I like playing Smash Bros., and that's pretty much it. That said, given that I am a noob, I really love the tethering of B. It seems to have more range than other tether moves, and it's making me a lot more comfortable with jumping off stage trying to knock a character off screen and get the kill. And then I feel very comfortable being able to up B right back because the range on this move is so great that it feels really easy to always get back to stage. So for me, it's really fun, and the character hits extremely hard, especially with the hammer, and the bow, the fail knot, is just ridiculous. To be able to break shields and get KOs with an actual ranged attack like this, I think is just crazy, and I just love that this character hits really hard and has really good range. I tend to prefer those kinds of characters, the characters that hit hard and have range, which is probably why I tend to prefer both Link and Samus. Byleth is another one of those characters. I could see this character being one of my most played characters, right up there with Link, Samus, and Banjo. So I love this character. I think it's fun. I think you guys should definitely give it a try if you haven't done so already, maybe because of all the controversy. While I do understand that it's another Fire Emblem character, this one might be my favorite one. But anyway, let's now talk about Pokémon Home. So Pokémon Home, of course, is also subject to controversy because anything about Pokémon Sword and Shield will be controversial. The app is $16 a year, which is more expensive than Pokémon Bank. I think Pokémon Bank was $5 a year, and I mean, that's a pretty big difference. However, there is a free version for Pokémon Home, and that gives you the ability to transfer your Pokémon over from previous games into Sword and Shield. You also do have access to the GTS even on the free version. For those who don't know what the GTS is, it's a service that allows you to trade for specific Pokemon. So if there's a particular Pokemon that you want, you can make that request and you will be able to trade for that particular Pokemon. We have not had this feature in Sword and Shield or Let's Go, so people are unhappy about this because the feature is not in those games. It's a cut feature, and now it's in Pokemon Home. But Pokemon Home, the free version, has access to this. So I don't really think that's an issue. I do think there's an argument to be made that Pokemon Bank was $5 and now Pokemon Home is $16, but from everything that I'm seeing about Pokemon Home, it is a much nicer package. You have a lot more trading options. There are a whole bunch of brand new versions of the original sprites for each particular Pokemon. You can see a whole bunch of different Pokédex entries from the different games for each particular Pokemon, as well as their forms, and you also have access to seeing their stats and organizing all of this. So I think it's really nice, honestly. The $16, while I do think it's a little much, at the end of the day, it's still just $16. Now, it is a little bit more expensive if you do decide to just pay for it month by month, so $3 a month or $5 every 3 months. The best deal is $16 for a year, which I don't think is that expensive, but when you consider that you also have to pay for Nintendo Switch Online to play Nintendo games online, including Sword and Shield, and then also there's a DLC coming up, and of course the price of the game itself and the Switch, I can see how some people might not like all these different charges, but this service is better than Pokemon Bank, and there's a free version of it. So all in all, I think it's a fine situation. I'm excited we're finally getting GTS. It's a feature I really liked in the previous games, and now that I play competitively, I think this feature is very important. So I think it's fine. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comments below. Now let's move on to the final topic for this little discussion video. The Nintendo Direct that I think we should definitely see in February, like it kind of has to happen at this point. Is it possible that Nintendo would do something they haven't done the entire Switch era and skip both January and then February? Yes, it's possible. Is it likely? I hope not. I don't think it is. I think it's really unlikely because it hasn't happened before, but precedents have been broken by Nintendo. Look at Byleth. I mean, yeah, it's a first-party character in what seemed to be an entirely third-party Fighter's Pass. So, these things happen, of course. But I still think February is the most likely time to see the Nintendo Direct. I'm personally betting February 13th at this point. Why do I think that? Well, one, mid-February is usually the time we would see a Nintendo Direct if it does happen in February, and the 13th falls on a Thursday. Usually Directs either happen on Wednesdays or Thursdays, so I'm guessing February 13th. Not to mention, we're supposed to get like a little update on Devil May Cry Special Edition for the Switch on the 16th of January, which already happened, the 30th of January, which is happening tomorrow because I'm recording this on the 29th, and also on February 13th. So the 16th update was a very small little update. I'm expecting another small little update on the 30th, and then I'm expecting another update to happen, not on Twitter necessarily, but during a Nintendo Direct, the final little update they're going to be offering for Devil May Cry 3 on February 13th. I think that makes a lot of sense. I think it could happen, and yeah, I think there's a pretty good chance that February 13th could be the date we see that Nintendo Direct. Now, what about the actual games we could see during this Nintendo Direct? What could there be? Well, we have gotten rumors about a 2D Metroid happening this year and also a Paper Mario. I'm not sure if we'll see both, but I think there's a really good chance we see at least one of those during this Nintendo Direct. Not to mention, I also expect us to see Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. We've seen some websites list the game to be coming out in either May or June or somewhere around that time. I could definitely see the game coming out around that time because that is the 10-year anniversary for Xenoblade Chronicles in June, I believe. So it could happen then or just a month shy of it in May. Definitely possible. The game was revealed last September. It's a remake. While it just seems to be like a really nice high quality remake, it's just a remake, so I don't expect them to announce a remake over a year and a half in advance before it actually comes out. So I think given that the game was revealed last September, it coming out say May or June is not a crazy window between reveal and release. So yes, I'm expecting to see this game in the next Nintendo Direct. Now, there have been other rumors from Emily Rogers about 2 Wii U ports coming to the Switch this year. And actually, Zippo on Reset Era, who has been known to leak things in the past, said this on that. Once again, Pikmin 3 and 3D World are super real. Metro Prime Trilogy can literally be put on the eShop tomorrow if Nintendo wants. It's that ready to go. Hope your day gets better. Now, I'll talk about the Metro Prime part in a little bit, but here he's saying Pikmin 3 and 3D World. Considering that Per Schneider was also talking about this in a podcast, and he was saying that he likes strategy games right when he talked about this, Pikmin 3 seems to be very likely, I think. I definitely think Pikmin 3 is for sure happening. Now with 3D World, I don't want 3D World. That probably means that the sequel to Super Mario Odyssey, while I do think it's in development, won't be coming out this year. I mean, not every big Nintendo game has to come out in this year, so if Mario Odyssey 2 doesn't come out this year, that's fine. 3D World's a pretty good game, so if we do get a remaster of it or whatever, and it comes out this year, and perhaps it's a little bit better, for those who didn't try it on Wii U, good. It's a pretty fun game. Definitely check it out. So one or both of these games could definitely be revealed in this next Nintendo Direct. I'm definitely pulling for Pikmin 3. It's about time we got some Pikmin love, so I hope that happens. But now let's talk about Metro Prime Trilogy. Here Zippo is saying that the game could just be dropped at any point. I think that is true. I feel like Metro Prime Trilogy probably has been done for quite some time, and Nintendo is literally just waiting for the right time to put it out. Now what bothers me about what he said is just he talked about it coming out on the eShop tomorrow. Is he implying that this is not like a big HD sort of remaster and it's just like a straight virtual console port from the Wii U? If it's that, that would be disappointing. I would have to imagine that if this game or set of games is coming to the Switch, they would at least have to sort of up-res them to HD, upscale them to HD, and then obviously change around the controls so it could work on the Switch. I do hope that it has a little bit more work done to it than just that. It would be disappointing otherwise. So that's my personal hope. Now, I'm not saying that's what he's saying here specifically. He may just be trying to say that the game is ready to go and Nintendo could drop it at any point. I agree with that. So hopefully they do decide to reveal the game in February in a Nintendo Direct so we could see it really soon, perhaps before E3, maybe around April or summertime. That would be great. Now, the issue with that though is that 2D Metroid supposedly is also coming out this year. 2D Metroid, and Metroid Prime Trilogy are both Metroid franchise games. Would they really have 2 in 1 year? I think it could happen. We're talking about a 2D Metroidvania style of gameplay and first-person adventure with shooting elements. These are 2 different genres, and I think they both could fit in the same year, perhaps one in the first half, one in the second half. So maybe during this Nintendo Direct, we get a reveal for Metroid Prime Trilogy. It comes out in the first half of the year, and then 2D Metroid comes out, say, around September time, kind of like Link's Awakening last year. So we'll have to wait and see if those rumors are even true and when it comes out. But I am optimistic that we will definitely see something Metroid this year. I think the 2D Metroid is a really good bet. Prime Trilogy at this point I would say is a toss-up. They could save that for next year. We'll see. And one more thing I want to talk about before I go. So, Breath of the Wild 2. I expect to see it this year. I think it is coming out holiday 2020. However, that does not mean I think we will see it in the next Nintendo Direct. I think given how late into the year this Nintendo Direct is going to be, I think more likely they're just going to be focusing on what's coming out in the first half of the year. They usually do that anyway, but maybe if they had had it earlier, they would have given us a couple little hints towards what's the big thing for later in the year. So really, I'm just sort of expecting to see Breath of the Wild 2 at E3, and maybe then we get the full-on blowout reveal. However, it is possible, I'm not expecting it, I don't think it's likely, but I think it's possible that at the end of this February Nintendo Direct, like the very last thing, the final little reveal or tease, is them confirming that Breath of the Wild 2 is coming out holiday 2020. They could do that, but I'm not expecting it. But anyways, guys, those are just sort of my thoughts on what's been going on this week and what's been in the discussion. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and I'll see you all really soon. Take care.